Hi everyone, my name is Mateus, and today we're going to talk about video games. Retro Studios, the developer behind the Metroid Prime series, was long rumored to have worked on a canned Zelda game, and in 2020 concept art of the project was discovered. Now, YouTube channel Did You Know Gaming has uncovered more information about the project. The surface concept art, drawn by former Retro Studios contract artist Sammy Hall, had a much darker tone than previous Zelda games and featured Sheik in a lead role as the game's plot relayed the origins of the Master Sword. Did You Know Gaming since followed up with Retro Studios employees to glean more information on the game. This led to Paul Tozor, a programmer at the developer, willing to speak on the project. At no point was it really anything like Zelda, said Tozor. It was an experiment gone wrong that happened to be set in the Zelda universe. Essentially, the gameplay was atypical of the Zelda series and did not live up to expectations. Tozor describes combat as simplified whack-a-mole, with lead character Sheik standing in place as wolves took turns to attack. Simply flicking the Wii remote was enough to kill them. When Tozor voiced concerns about the gameplay with designers, he was told that simplified gameplay was the wave of the future, which was compared to Link's crossbow training. Overworld traversal was totally separate, with Sheik transported into separate battles like in a JRPG. Tozor described this part of gameplay as a hot mess. While the artwork has been widely praised, the gameplay of Project X/Sheik wasn't reviewed by Retro's other designers. Instead, Tozor suggested the team work on something like Shadow of the Colossus. Unfortunately, his pleas fell on deaf ears, and Tozor blames Retro's leadership for the game's poor quality. Incidentally, many designers from Retro left to form Bluepoint Games, which worked on a remake of Shadow of the Colossus for Sony. So what did Nintendo think of this game when it was pitched? Nintendo couldn't really make heads or tails of it, says Tozor. Their reaction basically boils down to, "This is seriously what you're proposing?" Really? It was immediately rejected. That's what I was told, but I wasn't there when it happened, and I suppose there's a possibility it never actually happened and they decided not to show it to Nintendo. Nintendo gave us the green light to make the prototype, but they had zero input or visibility during the 9 months of pre-production, which is one of the reasons it failed. A further story from Did You Know Gaming's video is that Retro Studios was also working on another Zelda game. Known as Heroes of Hyrule, the story focused on a Goron, a Zora, and a Rito who lived 100 years in the past, plus a version of Link who's now an old man. That seems suspiciously like Breath of the Wild. The YouTube channel will have further details in a new video soon. Splatoon 3 spoilers have leaked online following players getting their hands on retail copies ahead of launch. The new Nintendo shooter isn't meant to launch until later this week on September 9th, but that hasn't stopped Splatoon 3 from accidentally shipping to customers early. It appears a slate of users have somehow managed to get their hands on the new game over the past weekend. As such, story spoilers and other details are now doing the rounds on Twitter, YouTube, and other forums. In fact, it looks like Nintendo is actually taking action against some of those responsible for the leaks. A small-time YouTube channel called Enigma Dev has been uploading cutscene snippets over the past weekend from Splatoon 3, but all the videos now bear a notice that Nintendo has blocked them on copyright grounds. The reason we're seeing purely campaign-orientated gameplay leaks for Splatoon 3 is that multiplayer servers won't be online yet for the new shooter. As such, anyone with an early copy of the game can't play modes like Turf War or Salmon Run, and are purely restricted to playing through the single-player campaign. Overwatch 2 developer Blizzard has confirmed that the recently leaked Fox hero isn't real. Earlier this week, a leak pointed to Kimiko, aka Fox Girl, being Overwatch 2's next hero. The character was said to be a healer, and have abilities related to her fox. According to the leaker, she could summon the furry fellow to aid allies in various ways, including providing healing and damage reduction. Her ultimate would seemingly call forth a giant nine-tailed fox to prevent enemies from attacking. An image was also shared, which showed a character with bright-colored hair brandishing a shuriken-like weapon with a cute little blue fox perched on her shoulder. This information has turned out to be bogus, according to one developer, which is sure to disappoint more than a few Overwatch 2 fans. In a response on the competitive Overwatch subreddit, Blizzard's commercial leader and VP John Spector put the rumor to rest, saying, "Yes, this is fake." He reveals that normally the developer doesn't respond to this sort of rumor and speculation, but Spector clearly didn't want fans' hopes to get any higher and couldn't resist the opportunity to make a Naruto joke. The revelation that Kimiko is fake brings more questions than it does answers, as we still don't know what the little fox spirit, which briefly appeared at the end of the Overwatch 2 release date trailer, is all about. It could still be a cryptic reference to the game's next hero, but it seems we'll have to wait a bit longer to find out. Images reportedly showing a planned Silent Hill 2 remake have appeared online. The images, which have been widely circulated across social media, mirrored by @the_marmalade, are reportedly from an internal pitch demo for the game, according to noted insider Dusk Golem, which VGC's own sources have corroborated. These are from an internal pitch demo from Bloober before they got greenlit, so it's literally a no-budget proof of concept thing, he said, referring to the low-quality images. "This isn't actually what the final game looks like," he continued. VGC reported last February that Konami was planning to revive the long-dormant horror game series, and this remake is said to be part of those plans. As VGC reported earlier this year, a Silent Hill 2 remake is understood to be in active development. Sources suggest the game will be a timed exclusive for PlayStation consoles, alongside PC. Another episodic series of Silent Hill short stories are understood to be in development at a studio under Annapurna Interactive, the acclaimed publisher behind games such as Sayonara Wild Hearts, Outer Wilds, and Telling Lies. Ubisoft may have inadvertently leaked some key information about the Division Heartland ahead of time by putting up its official store page earlier than intended. The store page has since been taken back down, though it seems to remain partially accessible in some instances and may offer interested players a look at what to expect out of the upcoming Division Battle Royale. This information was brought to light by Twitter user Unknown1Z1, who posted some footage of the leaked The Division Heartland store page. While Ubisoft seems to have taken the page down following its discovery, it is still possible to open it up by searching for the game via Google image search and locating the official links that way. Broadly speaking, the page confirms a variety of rumors surrounding the Division Heartland, though none of it is necessarily groundbreaking information. Most prominently, the store page corroborates the previous Storm mode leak for the Division Heartland, describing a special PvPvE operation against an aggressive faction of rogue Division agents, the so-called Vultures. Alongside the Vultures, players will also need to contend with surviving a lethal virus, adding a new twist to the experience. Notably, the page also mentions excursion operations, which seem to be dedicated PvE missions where players prep the battlefield in some way, possibly by collecting high-end gear for their Storm matches. While some fans of the franchise may have hoped to see the long-awaited Tom Clancy's The Division 3 in the near future, this doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon, especially now that Ubisoft's own materials have seemingly confirmed that there's a potentially major PvE element present in Heartland. The specifics are still fuzzy, of course, but it's entirely possible that Heartland will be closer to a classic Division title than some would have expected it to be, which is a good thing for fans in the short term. Alongside Heartland, Ubisoft is also working on the Division Resurgence mobile game, which seems to be doing its own thing in most respects and should be coming to both Android and iOS phones in the relatively near future. Since Heartland's store page has popped up, it's possible that Ubisoft is getting ready to reveal more information about the game via official channels, but whether that ends up being the case remains to be seen. Hours later, the Division's official Twitter profile posted that updates about the Division 2, Heartland and Resurgence will be shared at Ubisoft Forward on September 10th. That's all the news for today, Monday, September 5th, 2022. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. The links to all the subjects discussed in this video are available in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.